The term humanity can be defined simply as the human race. The human race falls under the kingdom of Animalia. However, aside from the obvious physical differences that stand us apart from our closest relatives, primates, and therefore all other animals, there is something else that causes the impacts of our actions on our surroundings to reflect in a starkly different manner than the rest of things in the natural world. That is why we can even use the term natural world, as it alludes to an unnatural world, the unnatural world being the human world. Humanity becomes something that makes us so unique that it deserves its own word. Separate from the natural world, humanity is what makes us stand out from our animal cousins, who we share both similar DNA and physical bodies with. While not true for every animal for the most part, we see very similar body components in animals that remind us that we ultimately come from the same tree as our animal cousins, such as eyes, heads, and even invertebrates from bugs to crabs have arms and legs. So, what makes us so different? Could opposable thumbs really be the defining characteristic that causes us to stand so far above the rest of the kingdom of Animalia? Is it our ability to use tools or problem solve? Surely not, as many animals from primates to frogs have opposable thumbs, while the likes of birds and fish use tools and also problem solve. Therefore, the answer to what makes us different is the structure of our brain. Our human brains have evolved to be exactly what we need them to be, giving us the intelligence, sentience, and cognitive skills responsible for allowing us to do what we do. Our brains have a different physical structure, different than all other animals. It is effectively the perfect brain shape that creates and allows our exact capacities. One can think of humanity as almost like a special gene. The gene which is responsible for our brain's shape becomes the gene that is responsible for humanity. Everything else around us lacks it. There is clearly something in us humans that's different to everything else on this planet and separates us mentally and physically from every other living creature. Look around at everything that humanity has created. All things created by man is proof of this. For the most part, the only things on this planet that don't hold life are man-made. Life sprouts next to the hottest, most toxic vents in the ocean, yet nothing survives the sterile floors of a hospital after they've been cleaned. The capacities that have allowed us to sterilize and clean said floor is a testament to our humanity, which allows us to stand out from and function above all else on this planet. Years ago, humans competed with nature and natural elements, viewing the natural world as an equal. But as time has progressed, human culture and generational LTP, or long-term potentiation, evolved and grew. Us humans then began to transcend nature, stepping away from and moving above the natural world that we used to be in direct competition with. This eventually allowed us to do things as unnatural as creating germicides and pesticides, observe and even change weather patterns, clone living creatures, and a plethora of things unseen in the natural world before humans reached this point. Since humans have reached this point, the point of transcendence of many of the natural world's struggles, we stand above and outside of such a space. Our societies hardly worry about the dangers of the night's cold, as we have shelter and warmth to allow us to sleep comfortably. Our societies hardly worry about not having enough food to eat. In fact, the struggle has become more about what food we want to eat, as we have far more options at our fingertips than we could ever consume in one meal. Where in some places to this day clean drinking water is still a scarce resource for survival, in many of our established societies it can readily be found, flowing from multiple faucets and structures within our homes at any time we desire. Sometimes near endlessly we can leave the water running all day, every day, and it will not run out. Surely our societies do worry about these problems, but have already spent so much time setting up systems to solve them that once set up, these systems only need to be maintained by a handful of people, whilst the basic survival need is fulfilled for the greater mass of population. Since we no longer worry ourselves with the basic fundamentals of survival, for example, hunting for tonight's dinner this afternoon, it frees our time and hands to pursue other things, such as material pursuits and spiritual or recreational pursuits. While in a time that the natural world continues to struggle with its age-old survival, Humanity has allowed us to a position where many of us can sit on the couch under a cozy blanket, watching TV with a microwave dinner and a soda. This stark contrast, as well as the utilization of our freed time and mental energy, allows us to focus above and past the natural world and basic survival.